All right, peace, power, and love as always in greeting. Uh, Melvin, Series Jr., the big picture. Decided to jump on here and address a couple of things. Let me thank my subscribers and those who follow me uh, in secret as well. I appreciate you all who follow. Um, I'm just really wanting to keep us awake, wanting to keep us stimulated and keep us excited about this this fight that we're in. Keep us um, prepared. Get us prepared. Let us know. Let me go on and say it now that we need each other out here. Um, this little old longshoreman strike, uh, that could not last any longer than it did. And that's one thing that this administration, did realize and fix that quick. Um, as a driver for 23 years, I've been in and out of a few ports around the country, West Coast and Southern Coast, um, mainly, but busy, very busy. And that is where everything that hits the shelves comes through. So, yeah, that next to truck drivers going on strike, yeah, that right there couldn't have lasted a week. We would have started seeing changes. 2 weeks. It went 30 days. Me and a brother was speaking on that. One of my brothers was speaking on that briefly. And good. I'm so sorry. We really could not have withstood that for 30 days because there would have been nothing on the shelves and people are already out here panic buying. And the damn strike now is over at least until January. I can't remember what date. But, there's certain things that they are trying to automate, and this is one of them. You know, that would get rid of a lot of jobs if they were able to fully automate these ports. Uh, and there are some I've saw that are not fully automated, but have I don't know. From what I saw, it looked to be maybe about 25 to 30% automated. Uh, this gets rid of the man, the worker. This gets rid of the mind. Um, so yeah, that was something that I really knew in my heart of hearts they would remedy ASAP because that would shut the country down. And this administration has already done enough damage. Um, but that's a whole nother. Um, excuse me, y'all. I've been a long day, but I really want to get this in. Um, I want to address a couple of things, and I've been following a brother. I can't. I've watched a couple of his videos. I can't remember his name, but he's real hot on YouTube right now. He's right out there in Henderson, and he's really bringing a lot of light uh, to this uh, Javion McGee case. And, you know, this America that we live in um, has always lied, cheated, and done everything else underhanded that could be done in order to get ahead and stay ahead and maintain power. And they have done this all the way up until now and will continue unless things change. Oh, this is so sad. But um, this brother is very thorough, and not only that, there are several people who are calling in from the town and exposing, you know, the things that have been going on in this town for years. From what I'm understanding, and I grew up in one of those little small towns, you know, where a lot of stuff gets swept under the rug unless you make up enough noise about it. And 9 times out of 10, there's never enough noise made up about it to really change things. But I'm glad that this brother and others are keeping a constant light shining on this. And like I say, you know, last week I covered, well, my last video I covered, you know, uh, lynchings, and America's history of it is no secret, you know. Um, and now so many things are being, like I say, brought to the attention of the people, as it should. Um, and there were cops that had made contact with them. There were witnesses that heard him telling the policeman, let him call his mother. Mind you, he was from Illinois, I believe, 21 years old, just now getting started in what I can say can be a lucrative career. And if he does it right, had the opportunity to do it right, by the time he was 31, he could have been sitting in a good position. But we'll never know, like with so many of our young men, women, even our elderly who didn't get the chance to leave here in a natural way at the hands of these coward cops. And then you can always catch, like I say, these small towns. And even some of these larger cities do it too, because I'm going to talk about another case and what's happening. I'm going to touch on that because I covered how they don't have any remorse for what they do. The first thing that they say is, I ain't own no slaves. But yet still you want to behave as if you did or as if you do. That's the problem with a lot of them. They have that massive mentality, but they try to act as if they got black friends. And then they take opportunities like this where they think that they may be able to get away with this. They may be able to cover this up because they can make it appear to be one thing as opposed to what it truly is. Because when I first heard about the situation, uh, I knew off the muscle that that young man did not do that to himself. There's no way possible that he could have done that the way they said he was positioned and sitting. And then, like I say, this brother on Robert, I believe is, but I can't remember the whole because I really wasn't paying. I just got caught up in the content that he was bringing forth, and I can believe it. I've been a lot of places. I've been through North and South Carolina and all over, over my 23 years driving. And I can say that, yeah, I've been through some places and to some places in North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, even here in Texas, uh, Tennessee. Nowhere really is exempt here. I don't care where you go, northeast, south, or west, Midwest. It ain't exempt nowhere here in America. Um, and, they tried to first spin the narrative that he did this to himself. Like they have said about so many of us, and I covered just a few last video I did. You know, uh, even a sister that was found right here in Texas, just north of Dallas in McKinney, Texas. And you haven't heard anything else about that case. They rule it. They say that they do it to themselves so they don't have to do a lot of investigating. They don't have to spend a lot of manpower. And then everybody moves on, and especially when it is a black body. And I'm just hoping that, first of all, condolences to the young man's family, because I know for a fact, being out here on that road, uh, hundreds of miles away from home, anybody that you know, is stressful in itself. And then just doing what you're doing every day, driving and, in and out of warehouses and truck stops. Uh, you meet a lot of people, some good, some not so good. Um, but I know how it feels to be away from home and then, not having anyone, that you can really reach out to, you know, uh, not just a phone call, having somebody. Had this young man knew somebody in that area. And that's why I say we've got to start rebuilding some of the things that worked for our ancestors. The Green Book. We need to revamp that. We need to revamp that so truckers can have, and that would be something that a lot of truck drivers could get together and do, because there are a lot of brothers and sisters out here trucking now, and we definitely got to get a coalition going, fellow drivers, so that we can be safe and so that we can have some form of camaraderie and solidarity out here on these roads, and especially in and out of these small towns. And this is why I say, it don't matter where you're at. We need each other wherever you're at. you know, just so situations like this that may happen, you know, and a young man needs somewhere that he can stay for the night, you know, and he can park his truck somewhere and then have a network in place where he can have a safe place to stay and hopefully get a hot meal and all of that hospitality, and not, you know, having to just be in that truck, you know. And I know how that is. And give me just 1 minute. Yeah, being out on that road like that, and then I know why he had that rope. A lot of drivers know. Um, that's one of the first things that a driver told me out on the road: take your seatbelt and run it through your door, or take rope. And a lot of drivers keep rope in their truck specifically for that purpose. You know, I used to keep rope in my truck until I got a license to carry. But yeah, that will keep them from pulling your doors open if they happen to get them unlocked. Just little things like that to keep you safe. And then I never closed in trucks. You know, you can close that back section off from the front. I always made sure that I had a wraparound curtain so I could go around the front and side windows so that I could see the entirety of my truck. You know, you'll feel somebody if they step up on that step, and they'll have to step up on that step and rock that truck unless you just a real sound sleeper. But what happened to this young man happened before he was even able to make it back to his truck. And it reminds me of the case that happened a few couple of years or so ago of the other young man that they found hanging inside his truck. And when they gave his physical description, being 6'5", all he had to do was stand up. They said that his dash was um, kicked in, but they rule it. You know, they say he did it to himself. You know, and that's what bothers me with these types of cases like this, because it's so easy for them to say and spin a narrative and shame on that black sheriff for standing up in front of America and everybody that looks like him, telling a lie. And they say that the parents were never, from what I have gathered from watching a couple of this brother's videos, um, the parents have never were not allowed to see the body, which leads me to believe they probably put hands on him. You know, that's what they do. Just like in the case of Tyree Nichols, you know, and then you got these clowns getting they just desserts, you know. So uh, it really is time for us. Can this be the one that we come together on and then stay together on to make sure that it don't happen to another one of ours? Can we, you know, unite so that we can be proactive about solutions as opposed to being reactive to problems and issues? See, if we will stay together, the problems and the issues like this will be few and far in between, because they know if they step out of line or get out of bounds, what will be the consequence for that. but not enough of us are willing to even be vocal and just stand on the principle of doing the right thing. Because I'm telling you, a team of lawyers that they got down there, I'm 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 not impressed with lawyers. I'm not impressed with lawyers that are only after the payday. We need true civil rights lawyers who are really about the justice portion of these cases, and stop allowing these judicial systems to put together all white juries that's gonna let these uh, murderous cops walk, or give them a slap on the wrist in time, in time, just like with the young man Jordan Edwards and that murderer that took him away from his family, and he got 15 years. That's really not any time for taking a life. And then my thing is this: they should be regulated at a higher standard. They shouldn't have an opportunity to appeal because they know better. But you got a whole culture of bad cops out here. You ain't got to defund them, but treat them at a higher standard than you do regular citizens. Because regular citizens are not here to uphold the law. But these so-called cops that y'all got out here in these streets are. That's what they get paid to do. So they should be held at a higher standard. Just like me, I'm held at a higher standard whether I'm driving my personal vehicle or a commercial vehicle, which makes no sense to me. But hey, that's how they get their money. You know, that's how they get their money. So let's do that with the cops. And when they screw up, they don't have the chance to appeal and do all that a regular citizen would get. Because we gonna hold them at a higher standard than we hold regular Susie and Bob and Jamal and Sharita. Yeah, we gonna hold Officer Bill at a higher standard. Because Officer Bill is here to uphold the law, not break it. See, and that's how that can be fixed. But, you know, they don't have any consequences to face when they do what they do. And even citizens, and in these little small towns like Henderson County, where you got the whole town pressuring certain people to be quiet, you know, while they try to cover it up. But it's too late now. And that's why I say we are in a time of revelation. We are in a time where things are being revealed, lies are being exposed, and it's time to act accordingly to these revelations that are constantly being revealed. I keep saying that right now there is a certain energy amongst those of us who are waking up, and it says that those of us, some of us, will be awakened in these end times, and we got to start really paying attention to what's happening. And not only that, we've got to start speaking out for what's right, plain and simple. We can't keep going along to get along. This is why I'm not participating in this election either. This selection is senseless. We still got issues out here like Javion McGee, and I ain't heard not one of these administrations that's out here wanting us to vote for them say nothing about this case. I ain't heard Trump address it, and he won't. I ain't heard Kamala address it, and neither will she. But they want our vote. But see, these are problems that it's time for us to address so that we can stop losing our Javion McGee's. And then I'm gonna touch on another little something, and then I'm gonna get off of here. Uh, it's time for us to stop losing our Botham Johns. And I'll bring you up to date because I covered this case when it first started through my other podcast. And, you know, not soon after they locked her up, she wasn't even locked up a good year. She was already pushing for an appeal. This is what I mean when I say they don't have no remorse. Just like them folk right now in Henderson County. They ain't got no remorse about what they did. They could care less that it's a mother in Illinois grieving behind a son that she didn't have to lose. All y'all had to do was mind your business. And if he was parked somewhere where he didn't belong, well, just ask him to move. Because I've had that happen to me, you know, a few times. And as a driver, all you can do is respect that and move. And I have never seen a driver not move, you know, when asked. But this Amber Guyger is now eligible for parole. So I'm going to be doing some Googling and doing some internet searches to find out what's going on with that. Have they set a date for her parole hearing already? And I hope that her family comes out in full force. Every one of them return to Dallas to sit in at that parole hearing and request respectfully that she serves her time. That is the least she can do considering what she took from them and from us, the other brothers and sisters, for nothing, because she went into the wrong damn department. And I've said this several times in the past when covering this. I don't care if it ain't a light on in my house. I know if I'm in my house or not. I've lived in apartments. I know if I'm in my apartment or not. The placement of your TV, your couch, and all that, you're going to see that even if there are no lights on. There'll be enough light, usually lights in the breezeways, and when you open the door, you can see inside these apartments. So she had a vendetta against that young man. Can't tell me any different because she had complained to management about him playing his gospel music too loud for her. So, you know, some of these devils in these positions with badges and guns are nothing more than the same thugs that they claim others to be. And now she is prepared. You better believe she is more than prepared to sit in front of a parole board as if she's done nothing and act as if she's sorry, which I never think I heard her say. I don't think I've ever heard one of those cops ever say they were sorry about what they done. But they be ready for freedom. And she made 4 appeal attempts. So just let that resonate for a moment. You know, she walked into the apartment of another human being, took him from his family, and immediately started asking for freedom. Not once, twice, but 4 times. And that's why I say they don't have any remorse. They don't feel bad about what they're doing as long as it's not happening to them. They're not sorry. They just hate they got caught. So I'll be keeping you informed on that. And yeah, go and check out this guy. Like I say, I should have had his information ready. Uh, but I didn't really. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and drop this one. But Robert, just Google get Javion McGee. He's a full-faced brother. Got his hair braided up actually right now, but yeah, he's been real thorough, and he's right there in Henderson County. And see, this is what we need. We need to start being more informative and being there for one another, whether it's your real family or not. You know, just the fact that it's happening to somebody that looks like you should be a highly motivating factor. You know, like I say, we need each other. We are all that we got, and we all that we need. We got to recognize that really and start using one another to our own benefit. That's all I got. Uh, Once again, condolences to the family of Javion McGee, and also condolences to the family of Botham John. Once again, just for having to relive now with this devil having the opportunity for parole, having to relive, you know, what they went through only 5 or 6 short years ago. Just not enough time are given to these killer cops, these bad apples, these miscreants. But yeah, that's all I got. Y'all, like I always say, let's plan, let's organize, let's unify, because we all got a key right here and right here. I'm out. Peace, black power, and black love.